Good afternoon and welcome to Saturday Afternoon Live on the Thursday edition, January 2nd, 2025. And Happy New Year to everybody. We want to welcome you to the show and tell you thank you for having made 2024 one of the greatest years that we've had as far as folks being helped. Uh, Without you, our greatest of all time family of global listeners, we would not be able to do anything that we're doing. And we're measuring our success and knowing not just the number of folks helped, because there's no way to effectively gauge that, but to know that we are in fact helping folks and seeing a few along the way, we know we're doing our job. And we also know that it is a what do you call that? Predestined, where it's like God has a plan for you, and He calls that creating you in His image, creating us in His image. And that image is not necessarily a physical likeness. Creating us in His image is creating us in the image He has for our lives. And when we find out what that is and we start living it, then we are living in the image God created for us and created us to live. So doing what we're doing and seeing the what I call the wow factors, I can't go a day without some kind of wow moment happening, and I'm talking about a real wow. Uh, to know that we're definitely doing the right thing and on the right course, and God greenlighted this mission, so we're doing it. We're doing it, and we're having a good time doing it. So let's talk a little bit about 2024. 2024 was really a year of kind of like knowing what our mission is, and yet finding the venues, finding the paths to help us get there. And I know that's going to continue. That's an ongoing thing. You know, you're always looking to reach more folks, to help more people, more families, more veterans. And, you know, our whole job is to help each other get home, cross that bridge and get home. So 2024 has been a year of finding people. Um, in reality, it's like having made the right connections and making the right connections. And I don't mean that in anything other than an absolute pre-designed manner. The people that have come into our path and the path of folks that we've come across has been phenomenal. We've met some really, really great people who, without them, our progress would be far less. Far less. So there are some folks like Marnie over at Stone Ridge Retirement Community, who is a fantastic lady, uh, veteran and seniors is her heart. And you don't have to look very hard to realize that, to understand that. And she is phenomenal. She's so well educated um, in the correct way of going about things, um, especially in public relations and things of that nature, publicity, promotion. She's very well educated and very well experienced. She knows what works and what doesn't work, and she knows how to go directly and quickly right to what does work. So, Marnie, thank you. You've been incredible as far as helping get connected with other veterans and families who can benefit from the information that we teach and the resources that we bring to the table to help. We're more of a let's uncover the problem and let's put together the team to help solve it. So, Marnie, thank you. Uh, there are several other folks, the Pharaohs of Lebanon, the Pharaohs Car Club of Lebanon, Ron Zimmerman, and the members of the car club are incredibly supportive. Uh, a group of men and women who are, car enthusiasts to the max, and I love it. I love it. I'm right there. Um, but what their heart is about finding a cause. we're doing this, we love doing it, but who can we benefit by what we're doing? And they have discovered that our mission for ending and reducing veteran suicide, along with supporting families, is what they have chosen to take up as their cause, and have been fantastic supporters. We put together an incredible car show over Veterans Weekend, Veterans Day and Veterans Weekend, over at Arby's of Pine Grove, and it was amazing. The lot was equipped to hold about 50 cars, and what we had on there, we actually had 71 cars on the lot, and even squeezed into. We took up a lane of the drive-through. So we had cars parked to the outside lane of the drive-through there at Arby's, and it was fantastic. So good, in fact, and so high value of a cause for the event, that we had about 20 cars that turned around, and just there was nowhere for them to go. The street was parked full as far as that could handle. So at last count, we had like about 20, 21 cars that actually turned around. So thank you, Pharaohs of Lebanon. And the incredible thing about that is, not only was Arby's and our host so fantastic there at Arby's, that from the time of conception, the question was, do you think we could do this? And the response was, I don't know, but let's try. And with Pharaohs Car Club of Lebanon, we put it together and held the event within 3 weeks of the time that we thought to do it. And it's incredible because it was the last car show. It was actually beyond what's considered the car show season. So this was a finale for November, if you will, to have a car show, and it was just incredibly fantastic. I can't wait till we do that again next year, and we'll be doing car shows everywhere that we can get booked, and we can work with the Pharaohs at every one that they're doing, which will be fantastic. Between the Pharaohs car clubs, the host venues, some of our other supporters, such as Pat Garrett with the Amphitheater and his albums that he cuts down in Nashville and has out, that folks really love to hear his music. He still plays at Knoebels every year. It's great to see him there. And Pat also has had the Sickafoo Sheepskin Shop for about the last 50 years, he tells me. And he has been kind enough and gracious enough to help us get started with our Sheepskin for Vets line of sheepskin products that we have available right here on Veterans Row. And it can also be ordered online by simply going to the website. It's Furs on Willow is the website, and you can see what we have in inventory. If we don't have it in inventory, let us know. We'll get it for you. We have coats available, some beautiful sheepskin coats that unfortunately we don't have on display here on Veterans Row, but we can definitely access them for you, have them sent right to you, or you can go to our manufacturer and have it custom made to fit exactly as you'd like it. So 24 has been a really great year. We were out at the Expo Center, the Lebanon Expo Center. Fantastic 2 days out there. We met a lot of folks, and we're on hand to seriously make a difference on the spot in the lives of at least 2 surviving family members whose spouse unfortunately committed suicide. And the incredible, the wow moment of having been at the Expo Center is that the realization that of all the reasons we could have possibly been there, God had us there to greet these 2 people who needed us to be there. I was told point blank that the event had been so recent and so traumatic that my one dear survivor uh, had not been able to approach anyone to help deal with this. Yeah, so this person had been walking around for 2 weeks with this whole traumatic implosion. Uh, fortunately, God led her to the expo center and also had us there to meet and make that beautiful connection. So, folks, when you talk about, well, what do you really do? All you have to do is talk to somebody that we've helped, uh, come to us for help, or just sit with me for a little bit and I'll be happy to explain it to you. We also have the other videos on YouTube. Our YouTube channel has about 60 plus videos. Some of them are presentations that I gave. One was at the Pennsylvania State Capitol in the Rotunda, and that's pretty much our keystone, our hallmark video, because it really spoke volumes about what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. And, that was in June of 2023. And here we are, January 2025. And we've been doing everything as we said we would in the video in June of 2023. Now, the only difference is we're starting to grow in footprint, supporters, and folks that we're able to help. So, by all means, we need to continue having folks understand our cause, realize the need and the effect that we have, uh, and continue to support us. Join the family. The whole thing that we do is we teach people what to look for and how to interpret what you're seeing. You have the events, the changes in your veteran that you're seeing uh, along the process that oftentimes, if not intervened, can lead to veteran suicide. Our whole mission is to teach you how to understand what you're seeing, and then the next step is to answer the question, what do we do? All right, I see it. Now, what do I do? Okay, well, what we do is we teach safe intervention techniques, uh, strategies to build an intervention team, which consists of professionals and other veterans and other people from the VA, from VFWs, uh, who are able to totally relate to our veteran and build a team that comes together with a safe intervention strategy. And by safe intervention, I'm talking about non-mandated reporters is the biggest. We don't want to involve folks who have the mandated need or otherwise feel some kind of need to get outside forces involved. That's not what we're there to do. Okay, so, and the other part of a safe intervention is we want to know how to do it properly. We want to have a good plan in place. We want to have a team in place to go forward, because the last thing we want to do is to make it worse. Uh, we don't know what that could be, that trigger might be, uh, from an observation point. So we definitely want to take the time to build our team. And I'm not saying be lackadaisical about it and take your sweet time doing it. No. Um, we want what I suggest is to have as much uh, preparedness, uh, on hand in the event there does become a need. We want to be proactive. We don't want to wait until there's a problem and say, gee, I know how to figure this out. Give me a minute, I'll get to it. We want to have some preparations in place in the event of. And we want to know who to call, who to reach out to. Where do we find the primary care provider? Who is the spiritual um, advisor in the person's life or your life? Who are some of their friends that may have been there who may know people who have been there and have a good idea of the process and what's going on. And the biggest thing that we find, and we've done a lot of research on this. The biggest thing that we find is the loss of sense of purpose. Uh, and I have yet to find anyone who does not understand that or does not agree with that. We're in the military, we're in the combat theater, we're doing what we're there to do. Uh, that's our purpose. We have a sense of purpose. We don't need to figure that one out. We come back, excuse me, we come back from that theater, and guess what? That purpose no longer exists. So unless we've made some preparations prior to coming back, which we've talked about on some other shows, and there are a lot of resources for that now that hadn't been pre 9/11. So there is a lot in place, a lot more resources available to begin to prepare to come back to the world, as we call it. Leave the combat theater, excuse me, and you're coming back to the world. Well, you want to come back to something that's in process, not come back to a sudden environmental change and then try and figure it out. So we want to take a look at our sense of purpose and realize we need to do something about that. We need to have a new sense of purpose. Otherwise, we know how the process goes, from lack of sense of purpose to depression to lethargic to antisocial to total isolation, uh, feelings of worthlessness and pointlessness, which are all um, very real. They're felt to be very real, but they can be as temporary as we're able to intervene to change that. So we don't want to make a permanent decision for what is a temporary situation. So we definitely want to have some preemptive, and that's a good one. Uh, I fully believe in being preemptive. I never want to wait for you to come to me. No. If I even get an inkling you're coming for me, guess what? I'm visiting quickly. Um, so when I say to be preemptive, we want to be ready to strike. We want to take this and really effectively handle it. Uh, we want to take a look at our family structure and make sure that we have supports in place for our family, because they've gone through their own hell. And if there is no intervention and no type of support and resources, we're talking about two entirely separate worlds that will not mesh, and can only head worse. So we definitely want to include our families in our reintegration plan and protocols. And we have resources for that. We want you to reach out and let us know what you may need or what someone else may need. And we have resources available. We have family resources for an entire family to be able to take a time out, to take a few days uh, on a beautiful, beautiful compound. Uh, and this is, again, is run by some wonderful folks who have the heart for veterans and families, and be able to go there and have a few days to stay there. And if your choice is to just go there and do absolutely nothing and just take a time out, that's entirely possible, and they will help you do that. There's no requirement. It's not like, well, you have to attend supper once a night. No. Um, so that is one of our resources. That's for families, and can also be as individual as needs to be. They have horseback riding. They have trails. They have a pool. They have incredible indoor activities. And the food. I had the great fortune of being invited down there for a Senate hearing, and the food was just incredible. Um, and thank you again, Senator Mastriano, for that invitation. The food was incredible. Uh, And I truly, truly wanted to come up with a good reason why I could put off the rest of my week and just stay there for a couple of days. It was that night. That's down by Camp David. And we also have resources for medical needs, in addition to what the VA offers. And we are in no way casting stones at anyone or any operation. The simple truth is the need is far greater than what any one organization can sufficiently address. So there's absolutely no stones being cast there. But we have organizations in the Midwest who are virtual, in addition to being brick and mortar. But by being virtual, there is no geographical limitation. And the beauty of it is they are there to work with us for emotional wellness, mental health well-being. And when it comes down to, well, gee, I don't know if my insurance will cover it. I don't know if the VA will cover it. Well, guess what? That's not your worry. You know, that's not your worry. This organization already has uh, systems in place, personnel in place to be able to deal with the financial aspect of it. And by doing this, they can fully focus on you and me and what we need. Somebody else within their organization is handling the financial end of it. Because guess what? You know, the big pink elephant in the room is always what? The money, right? Like it or not, it always comes down to money. Can't do anything with it or without it, rather. Sometimes you can't do anything with it because it just ain't enough. Like going to the grocery store and wanting a dozen eggs and finding out there's $6 and you brought 3. So, yeah, tell me about it, right? Um, so, yes, we have organizations like that. We have other support organizations to help out with utilities. You know, you find yourself in a predicament. No one is immune. Okay, no one is immune. I don't care how well you are, how wealthy you are either. We're not immune. Things can happen way beyond our control, and we can be in a situation where there is a need to prevent disconnection of the electrical services. I've been there. Okay, I've been there. I'll never not own up to being the real me and sharing my life with you. Okay, that's the only way that I've learned how everything feels to be able to effectively relate to you, because I had the experience of myself. And just to digress, that was never about me. Never the poor me, look at my position. No, it was never about me. It was preparation for me to be able to help you. That's all. That's all. So if you find yourself in a valley, please understand it's not about you either. You're not that important. I'm sorry. Your mission is not about you, my friend. Your mission is to help somebody else. And you don't know who that is. You may never know, but God does. And God prepared the situation and is preparing you and carrying you through the situation so you can do like I and a bunch of other people, and you can help that other person, as I always say, to please find someone to help. So I encourage you to contact us at the email is fine. You can reach me the Sal. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah, you don't have to laugh at me. I'll do it for you. Okay. That way we don't have a problem. But you can email to Sal at the KZCVO, all initials.org. Again, that is Sal at the KZCVO.org. Or you can find us on YouTube if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. You can also catch us on YouTube, and that is youtube.com at Sal Santori 2880. Again, that is youtube.com at Sal Santori 2880. And you'll be able to lock into this video and the others that we have on there. And you should also be able to send a message through that I will get or someone will get. And you can also do the same on Facebook. Feel free to just message me, and anyone on the team will get it. And our team is growing all the way from California to New York and Florida and Chicago. We are in Chicago as well. So we're establishing quite a great team of advisors and helping with decisions, which is a beautiful thing. Really helps us to develop faster and better so that we are more better. How do you like that one? We'll be more better to be able to serve you. And if you would like to call, by all means, feel free. I never not answer my phone. And that number is 717-455-7086. We're doing the show live as we always do right here in the farmer's market. So I occasionally get folks come by and, just want to say howdy and give me the thumbs up. And that's great. We love being here. We love having folks that see what we're doing and can be part of it. We have a fantastic event coming up January 16th. That's a Thursday, I believe. We'll have to double check. But we have a beautiful event coming up. I do know it is January 16th, and that will be in the theater at the Stone Ridge Retirement Community in Wilmsdorf, Pennsylvania. And Marnie, again, has been so wonderful to allow us to come and spread our message and reach out to folks. We'll be I will MC the event, and I'm sure, offer some of my testimony as well. I never shy away from that. That's not for my benefit. My testimony is to let you know what I've been through so you can identify and say, hey, yes, Sal, let's talk. I need help. So that's always an option. We will also have my great friend from New York, wonderful human being, huge heart, and he also has been on the cast of Blue Bloods as they've been filming, Mr. William Clemente, and he will be on the panel and speaking at the event on the 16th, which I'm sorry is from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And we also have another great friend and veteran of 27 years. And by all means, Mr. Luther Tyree, who you've seen on the show the last couple of weeks, will be speaking. And if you've noticed on the show, he's got like 27 years of military experience and as being an officer. So he's got some really good experiences and information to share. And we also have my great friend Nick, who is going to be on the panel. Nick, believe it or not, survived 2 successful suicides. I say successful and survived, kind of like, what do they call those? The ones that don't make sense, like kind of me right now. But yeah, so he's going to be there. Nick Antos, great guy. He is going to be talking as well about his experiences. And I'll tell you what, to realize, tried it twice, completed it twice, and yet God still has you here to talk about it. Yeah, you can bet Nick's life is very, very meaningful, and he's really found what he was created to be in God's image. Amazing. So I've got like probably the greatest panel of folks that you could ever imagine. And we also have Mr. John Seeley out in California, who has been on the show and is an author with many books out. And he's got some incredible experiences to share and education as far as how to become unstuck, now. Uh, Not let's figure it out. He's talking about now. So with that, I want to thank you all again, our greatest of all time global family of listeners and viewers. We'll be back on Saturday live again. And until then, as always, please remember, find someone